ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नाम रूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धिर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यदिति मे निश्चिता मतिः। So slowly we are seeing these 4 types of Akasha, 4 types of Chaitanyam. So Granthakara himself gives so much details, and as if it is not enough, the Tippanikara adds to those details. So 4 types of Akasha: Ghatakasha, Jalakasha, Meghakasha, Mahakasha. And now corresponding to Ghatakasha, Kutastha Chaitanyam was described. Corresponding to Jalakasha, now Jiva Chaitanyam is described. Jiva, which is Chaitanyam, is described. And Jiva generally presented as Chidavasaha. But we have to add this Bimba Chaitanyam, Kutastha Chaitanyam also in it. So Jiva is equal to Pratibimbita Chaitanyam plus the Kutastha Chaitanyam. When we use the word plus, we should not think that 2 entities sitting, one Jiva is there, in that 2 entities, one H2O, how is there, H is there, O is there. There also not that so much the distance is there, but still some distance can be talked about. But here, this when we say Jiva is equal to Pratibimba Chaitanyam and Bimba Chaitanyam, we should not imagine some physical distance. Because these words, when we use in Vedanta, they create certain orientation in our mind, unless we remain careful. And it is not our fault, because all these words are generally meant for describing Anatma. And therefore we use them for this talking about Atma. Still that smell of Anatma will continue. Like we have used this weight, 1 kg, 2 kg weight, you have used for selling garlic onions, for days together. Now we use for selling mangoes. Mango will have some smell of garlic onion. So that will be there. So because used, so it will have some smell, because it will be same hand you use, So with that weight, you put this 1 kg, you take out 2 kg, you put all this, and with same hand you take mangoes, it will have some smell. So similarly, our words are like that weights used for Anatma, and now we are using for presenting Atma, and therefore this orientation will come when we say that Jiva has got the Chidabhasa and this Kutastha Chaitanyam. So we think, so one place this Kutastha is sitting, so nobody should touch me. Now you are Kutastha Chaitanya. I am Kutastha Chaitanya, Asanga. So it is sitting like, and Chidabhasa said, hey, why you are so much upright, See, like me. See, I am dancing. Whenever water dance, I dance. Kutastha, no, samsara. I'm just imagining. So that type of orientation may come. So I'm just making it light in putting in lighter vein, but somehow in some way or the other that orientation comes. So Vedanta teacher has to keep on doing this job. That he uses the word, and whatever wrong orientation those words have created, he has to knock it off. That's how this Vedanta teaching goes on and on. Otherwise, really basic message is very simple. But this type of thing has to be done. Anyway, so the Jiva is Kutastha Chaitanyam and Chidabhasa. Why we are using these two? Why not we manage with Kutastha Chaitanyam? That is going to be explained in the Tika. If Jiva is consisting of only Kutastha Chaitanyam, then transaction will not be explained. Therefore, we are introducing only for explanation of the giving the account for the transaction done by the Jiva. And then two were presented, Kutastha Chaitanyam, Chidabhasa, as the constituents of Jiva by Granthakara. Tippanikara added one. What? Antakarana also. So, Chidabhasa, Kutastha Chaitanya, and reflecting medium Upadhi. And he gave very detailed explanation why we require to say that these three constitute Jiva. He tried to shake this definition. Like Sruna, Nikhanana, Nyayana. Why not manage with one only? So three options were given. Only Antakarana, only Chidabhasa, only Kutastha Chaitanya. And they all three were having logical difficulties, fallacies, logical contradiction, discrepancy. Then he took up the three pairs. The first pair he took up was Pratibimba Vishishta Antakaranam, Jivaha, which is generally a popular definition of Jiva. The Granthakara also gave. But if we take that Pratibimba Vishishta Antakarana, then one problem was that Pratibimba is Mithya, Antakarana also is Mithya. Therefore, there will not be any constituent remaining of Jiva which will be called Muktaha. Who will be called to be Mithya? Something should remain. And therefore, if we take only two, that Mukta Bhava Prasangaha, Videha Mukta Bhava Prasangaha. And another technical reason he gave, that if we take this Jiva is equal to Antakarana and Pratibimba Chaitanyam, then we will end up having only this Jahal Lakshana. Bhagatyaga Lakshana, which is our Siddhanta, will not happen. Why will it not happen? Let us understand. Yesterday we had seen, but little more, like some more details to be given. So here, Tattvamasi Mahavakya is there. And what does it say? That Ishvara, you Jiva are. You Jiva are that Ishvara. And Vachyartha of Ishvara is Maya Pratibimbita Chaitanyam, or Maya and Pratibimbita Chaitanyam. Because if Jiva we take Antakarana and Chidabhasa, then there also what we have to say? Maya and Chidabhasa. So Maya and Chidabhasa is Ishvaraha, Vachyartha. And Antakarana and Chidabhasa is the Vachyartha of Jiva, Tvam. Now between these two, Aikyam is not possible. Because Maya Pratibimba, Maya Chidabhasa, or Maya Pratibimbita Chaitanya Pratibimba is very vast and all-knowing. Whereas this Antakarana Chidabhasa, Antakarana Chit Pratibimba is small-knowing. Therefore, they cannot have oneness. So between Antakarana and Pratibimba, Chit Pratibimba, that Jiva, and the Maya and Chit Pratibimba, Ishvara, they cannot have oneness. So Vachyartha Drishtya, there is no oneness. When we take Jiva is equal to Antakarana plus Chidabhasa, Ishvara is equal to Maya plus Chidabhasa, then oneness is not possible. Therefore, what we have to do? We have to do Lakshana. Now, Lakshana, but question is which Lakshana? Like we say, he is a Brahmana. Then we ask, which Brahmana? Brahmana also has got so many Brahmanas, varieties are there. In South India, variety Iyer or the Iyengar is there. That variety. In North India, different varieties. Saraswata Brahmana, Gauda Brahmana, different Brahmana. So here Lakshana, we say, oh, but Lakshana, Lakshana also you have to specify. Like nowadays, we have so many varieties. So if you say bring apple, our people generally bring whatever they have. But somebody will ask which apple. Should I bring Australian apple, American apple, or Kashmir Indian apple? So many varieties. So here also Lakshana, you do which Lakshana? So then answer we have to give that our Siddhanta is Vakya Vritti is a Grantha by Shankaracharya ji, where this Vakya, the Mahavakyas are analyzed and which Lakshana is to be done. There it has been settled that Bhagatyaga Lakshana is to be done. Vedanta Sara also we did Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So Bhagatyaga Lakshana is our main Siddhanta. And Bhagatyaga Lakshana will be done when one part of the Vachyartha is retained and other part of the Vachyartha is dropped. Whereas this, if you drop the entire Vachyartha and take some other meaning as Lakshyartha, then it is called Jahal Lakshana. So here we have to bring the Lakshyartha on both sides in such a way that there is no contradiction. The Lakshyartha of Jiva and Lakshyartha of Ishvara should be such that there is oneness between the two. And what meaning Lakshyartha we have to bring? We have to bring Shuddha Chaitanyam as the Lakshyartha of Jiva, Shuddha Chaitanyam as the Lakshyartha of Ishvara. And to bring the Shuddha Chaitanyam as the Lakshyartha, what we have to do? If the Vachyartha, according to this Purva Pakshi, if Vachyartha is this Antakarana and Chidabhasa, is the Vachyartha. Now what Lakshyartha we want? Shuddha Chaitanyam. So what we have to do? We have to drop the entire Vachyartha, Antakarana and Chidabhasa, which is the Vachyartha of Jiva. Entirely it is to be dropped. And we have to take some other Lakshyartha, some other meaning as the Lakshyartha. And that type of Lakshana is called Jahal Lakshana. And therefore what will happen? If you are considering Jiva is equal to Antakarana plus Chidabhasa, then you have to take what? Jahal Lakshana only. You cannot take the Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Why? Because there is nothing to retain. Because Shuddha Chait, this Antakarana is not Shuddha Chaitanya, Chidabhasa also is not Shuddha Chaitanya. Therefore, both of them cannot be retained. So both of them are to be dropped. There is nothing to retain. Therefore, Bhagatyaga Lakshana cannot be done. What Lakshana? Jahal Lakshana is to be done. And Jahal Lakshana is not Bhashyakarabi Abhimatam. And Bhagatyaga Lakshana, when you can do? When you listen to our suggestion. What is our suggestion? Antakarana, Chidabhasa and Kutastha Chaitanya. If you keep this as the definition of Jiva, means if you take this as the Vachyartha of Jiva, these three, then two you can drop, therefore Tyaga, and one you can retain, therefore Bhaga. So Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana will happen. So Jahal Lakshana or Bhagatyaga Lakshana is possible only when you have included the Kutastha Chaitanya. That was said here that Bhagatyaga Lakshana will not be possible, only Jahal Lakshana will be possible. And that is not Bhashyakara Abhimatam. Here one thing to be noted. In Neshkarmya Siddhi, the Neshkarmya Siddhi Kara, he takes Jahal Lakshana only. Lakshana. He said Jiva is equal to Chidabhasa and Antakarana, both are dismissed. Then you take Chaitanyam as this Lakshyartha by Jahal Lakshana. Alright. But when between Guru's Mata and Shishya's Mata, no, which one is better? We always prefer Guru, no? Like assistant doctor is there, the main doctor is there. Which doctor you would like to go? Main doctor only, you know. So therefore we will prefer that. That's what happens. Okay. But we go to sometimes maid doctor, and maid doctor will ask the assistant doctor, "क्या medicine लिखना चाहिए?" Many time training they give that, they do like this. The assistant, in fact, assistant doctor alone will write. So Guru, the main doctor will say, okay. So we are all waiting for main doctors for hours together. The assistant was available. We did not go. In fact, sometimes he alone will come inside. Anyway, so but I don't know why all this. So etad bhashyakara bhi matam. Okay. And then he also talked about that whenever adhyaropita is there, adhishthanam has to be there. So Chidabhasa and Antakarana, they are adhyastha, and they cannot be there without adhishthanam. Whether you mention it or not, they will be there. Like if you bring pot, you say, I want only pot, don't bring clay, okay? I want pot and pot only. No dust of clay should be there. Okay, I will bring pot only. But clay will come. So it is a non-separate. So even if you take the definition that Jiva is equal to Chidabhasa and Antakarana, whether you like it or not, buy one, get one free, that will happen. Yesterday one couple had come, a long time back that person was telling, Swamiji, my son is in the US and they require somebody to take care of their children. He said for that, and they were to cook and all. He said for that only my wife is useful. So really they want my wife only. But my wife will not go without my going. Therefore they have to call me also. He was feeling very bad about that. But this is how it is. So there it is, somehow we can separate, but here you cannot separate this. So what Siddhanta is telling, that even if you give this definition, that Jiva is equal to this Chit Pratibimba, Chidabhasa and Antakaranam, this Adhishthanam is there, because Adhyaropita cannot stay apart from Adhishthanam. Aprutak bhutehi, aprutak bhavehi. There are aprutak bhavaha. In Mandukya it comes. Alright, so that is why he said, Nahi adhishthanam antara prutagaropyam kutrapi avabhasate. And this is general sentence. From that, how we have to apply this? Adhishthanam kutastha chaitanyam antara. Without the kutastha chaitanyam, prutak aropyam chidabhasaha antakaranam cha kutrapi na avabhasate. Without adhisthana chaitanyam, antakarana and chidabhasa cannot exist. And therefore what? He is included. Whether you know it or not, it is included. So whenever you are say aham, whether you know it or not, chaitanyam is there. Without chaitanyam being there, aham cannot be used. Chaitanya is always included. And you should not have allergy to chaitanya. Why every time chaitanya included? Chaitanya is your true nature, and understanding your true nature, you become free. So some people have this allergy to Brahman. The Brahma kaisa hai? In Vrindavan they say kala kaluta. Matlab isme kuch no taste is there, no color is there. Very like a tofu. There is no taste at all, So such orientation some people have, then they can never appreciate I am Brahman. To abide in Brahman, to get this understanding of Brahman, one has to love for Brahman. And that is called devotion for Ishvara. So Jignasu is a bhakta because he has love for this Ishvara Swarupa. If he says, no, I like this, Krishna, this Bansuri Wala Krishna, kitna acha hai. This Barha, Pidam, Vapu, that one who has got the Mayura Picha, that the peacock feather is there, that Bansuri is there, that Krishna I know. That is good. I am not interested in all this Brahman, etc. Because Brahman doesn't have any taste, any form, nothing to interest me. What is that? Some good touch is there? No. good smell is there? Nothing. And so such people will not. That is by the way, but it's very useful. One should appreciate the beauty of what Brahman is. Before understanding and abiding in this understanding, love for it is a prime requirement. That alone makes you a jignasu, true jignasu. So we should not have that why Chaitanyam is all the time. Chaitanyam is there in every transaction. In fact, every thought it is there. All right. Then Adhisthana Chaitanyam, Pratibimba Chaitanyam cha iti ubhayam militva jivaha. If these two are jivaha, then both of them are swarupataha nirvikara. And another principle, which is general principle, the Chidabhasa cannot be there without Antakarana being there. So you cannot have the composition of Jiva in the form of this, the Adhisthana Chaitanya, Kutastha Chaitanya, and only Chidabhasa. It is not possible. So Chidabhasa is there, then Antakaranam will be included. Whether you name it or not. Sometimes, we go and so who all went? So some person you don't like, so you don't mention his name, but he was there, In fact, he was in front. So that's why you didn't like him. So, but he was there. So sometimes you may not mention some entity, but it is there. Alright, so Adhisthana Chaitanya Militva. That is the first thing. But Tikakara gives, the Tippanikara gives one more reason. One reason we gave, that you cannot have this Adhisthana Chaitanyam and Pratibimba Chaitanyam as the constituents of Jiva. These two alone cannot be, because without Antakaranam it is not possible. That is the main reason or general reason. Specific reason is that if these two alone are there, then Vikara will not be possible. Because without Antakarana, Chidabhasa also cannot have Vikara. Chidabhasa gets Vikara in keeping with the Vikara of Antakarana. Antakarana Vikaran Anu Chidabhasaha Vikaram Anubhavati. Or Chidabhasaha Savikara Pratiyate. Chidabhasa appears to be Savikara in keeping with the Vikara of Antakarana. Now Vikara Padaka. The factor which is bringing about Vikara is not there. You have driven it out. Then there will not be, both will be, yesterday I told you that both will be like lazy fellows. No activity can happen. So Jiva will not have any Kriya. But Jiva appears to be, experientially Jiva is Karta. In Brahma Sutra there is a sutra. Karta, Shastrartha Vatvat. Jiva is a karta or not? There it is a Jiva is a karta. Then Jiva is a karta, because then only Shastrarthavatvam, then only there is meaningfulness of the Shastra. Imagine Jiva is not a karta. Jiva doesn't have any kartrutvam. Then nobody has kartrutvam. The kartrutvena Anubhuyamanah jiva yadi karta nasti na kopi karta syat. Nobody will be karta. And therefore what? Shastra cannot give instruction. The principle is that instruction is only for the person who is capable of doing. I don't say pencil, when tomorrow I come, no, you just stand and, Swamiji comes and stand. Everybody is standing up, you are not standing up. So I give the instruction. Tomorrow, so many days I have been telling, not listening. Tomorrow you will stand up. You will not listen to my instruction. In fact, some people also we will watch. Some people also we give up. Some usko bolne ka koi fayda nahi hai. No point in telling. So some people also like that. But generally, Jiva is considered to be karta. Then only Shastra has got meaningfulness, because Shastra gives instruction. Veda says, Aharaha Sandhyam Upasita. So that instruction has got validity only when Jiva has got kartrutva. And of course, afterwards the Sutra is Ubhayatha. The Jiva can be looked upon as karta from the standpoint of Upadhi, but by itself it is free from Upadhi. Kartrutvam. That topic comes there. Taksha Ubhayatha. So this Taksha means the carpenter example comes. The carpenter is doing carpentry when he has got tools. When he doesn't have tool, then he is not a carpenter. Then he will not be the doer of this all furniture. So Jiva is like that. So that discussion is there. But Shastra accepts the Kartrutvam, and that will not be established. Then Adhisthana Chaitanyam and Antakarana, they can be Jiva, that also not possible. In that case, Darpanadi also will become Jivaha. And therefore what? All these three pairs of consisting of two members cannot become Jiva completely. And therefore, finally we have to accept all three put together, Jiva, and that idea is given in Panchadashi, Chaitanyam Vedadhishthanam Lingadehasya Yak Punaha Chitchaya Lingadehasta Tatsango Jiva Uchyate. Adhisthana Chaitanyam, Sukshma Sharira, and Chitchaya, Chit Pratibimba. All three are called Jivaha. All three put together is called Jivaha. Here one thing need to be noted is this presentation is based on this Pratibimbavada or Abhasavada. Based on that, it's a mixture of both. So based on that, in Avachedavada, Pratibimba doesn't come. In Avachedavada, just Upadhi is there, Chaitanyam is there. Upadhi Avachinna Chaitanyam is called Jivaha. Antakarana Avachinna Chaitanyam, reflection is not there. So that Vada has got some plus point. The plus point is that one thing you don't have to add one more factor. And other thing is that in the reflection and the original we talk about, then some idea of difference comes. Because what is reflected is away and reflection is in different place. So idea of some distance comes. So there are some limitations in this Pratibimbavada, Abhasavada. So Avachedavada says, see, ours is very simple. Just one Antakarana, one Chaitanyam, Antakarana Avachinna Chaitanyam Jiva. But they have one issue. What is the issue? Avachedavada cannot explain this Jada Chaitana Vibhaga. How come this pencil is not moving? Pencil is not have Punya Papa. Avachidna Chaitanyam is there. Avachedaka pencil also is there. They should be here. No, but this pencil doesn't have Swachatvam. See, they also indirectly backdoor entry will be there. To explain, they have to say what? It doesn't have this Avachedaka, Upadhi doesn't have Swachatvam. Whereas this Antakarana has got Swachatvam. Then we say, but why Swachatvam is required? They have to say, then only this Chetanatvam will come. So indirectly they have to accept. Alright. Therefore, the Granthakara is going to say, Abhasavada is better. He will say that also topic will come. Okay. So now, so far what we have seen, 4 types of Akasha we saw, Kutastha Chaitanyam we saw, Jiva Swarupa Varnanam topic we have started. In Jiva, 3 constituents are there. One is Antakarana, other is Chidabhasa, and third is Kutastha Chaitanyam. Out of these 3, Kutastha Chaitanyam is already talked about. Now Chidabhasa part of Jiva is explained. Abhasa Swarupa Vivechanam. The analysis of the nature, the character of Abhasa. Abhasa here in the sense of, roughly we translate as reflection. Slightly different from reflection, but it is generally translated as reflection. So, what is the nature of this reflection of consciousness? That is described. And he presents here 2 views. Chidabhasa is a reflection of Chaitanya. Which type of Chaitanya? Bimba Chaitanya, original Chaitanya. Now, original also we have 2, isn't it? One is the Kutastha is also original, another is Brahma Chaitanyam, Mahakashasthani of Brahma Chaitanyam, Sarva Vyapaka Chaitanyam, that also is Bimba Chaitanyam. And this Ghatakasha Sthaniya Kutastha also is a Bimba Chaitanya. So now question is that Chidabhasa is the Pratibimba of the Kutastha Chaitanya, Ghatakasha Sthaniya Kutastha Chaitanya, or Mahakasha Sthaniya Brahma Chaitanya. The Pratibimba is the Bimba. What is the Bimba? Whose Pratibimba is this Chidabhasa? That analysis. In that there are two views. First view is that Chidabhasa is the Pratibimba of Kutastha Chaitanya. Because very close by, no? The same Upadhi Kutastha is available. But what is the definition of Kutastha? Kutastha is the Upadhi Adhisthana, Buddhi Adhisthana. Or Buddhi Upahita Chaitanyam is Kutastha Chaitanyam. And Buddhi Pratibimbita Chaitanyam is Chidabhasa. So both are very close by. Both are related to Buddhi. And therefore what? This Chidabhasa is the Pratibimba, the reflection of Kutastha Chaitanya. Nazdik hai na, very close by. वो ब्रह्म चैतन्य बहुत दूर है, मतलब पूरा है. So why to take very go far up? There only you manage. So first view is Chidabhasa is the reflection of Kutastha Chaitanyam obtaining in the Buddhi, Antakaranam. That view is presented. Afterwards he said, no, you can take this Chidabhasa as the reflection of Brahma Chaitanyam also. Both have got some plus points, some minus points. So our Tatparya is not there. Some people say, Swami, I think I like everything big. Like in America, everything is a popcorn in the box, they will be very big. So everything big only. I like Mahakal. Okay, you take. And some people know, in Japan, everything small. So he said, no, I like to be small one, that Kutastha Chaitanya. Very cute, Kutastha is very cute. So, India wala is sometimes Japanese, sometimes American. That's what. So let us see. Prat Bimba Rupa Kutastha Sahita Chidabhasaha Jivaha iti Prapanchitam. Prat means earlier in the previous paragraph. Jivaha is Bimba Rupa Kutastha Sahita Chidabhasaha. Reflected consciousness along with the original consciousness which is Kutastha, changeless. So Jiva is the reflected consciousness along with the changeless original consciousness. Now, of course, this Antakarana is included. Iti Prapanchitam. In this manner, it was explained, elaborated, explained. Ataha idam pratiyate. From this, or therefore, this following thing is understood. So ataha can be therefore, or atha means from this following thing can be understood. What? Buddho pratiphalitaha yaha pratibimbaha sakutasthasya eva natu bahya brahma chaitanyasya. This pratiphalitaha yaha pratibimbaha, the reflection yaha which is pratiphalitaha, reflected in the buddhi. So the reflection which is reflected in obtaining in the buddhi, saha, that pratibimba, kutasthasya eva. That is, that reflected consciousness is the reflection of Kutastha Chaitanya alone. Natu Bahya Brahma Chaitanyasya, and not of Brahma Chaitanyam which is considered to be outside. Vyapaka Chaitanya. So Buddhi, the Chidabhasa is the reflection of Kutastha Chaitanya, Ghatakasha Sthaniya Kutastha Chaitanya, and not Mahakasha Sthaniya Brahma Chaitanya. Alright. Why? He gives explanation. He says, Yasya pratibimbaha anyatra pratiyate saha eva bimbaha iti uchyate. He said, what is bimba? Bimba means the original. When I am looking my face in the mirror, my face will be called bimba, and the reflection seen in the mirror will be called pratibimba. So that Keeping that example, we can understand here, yasya pratibimbaha, whose reflection, anyatra, darpanado, in the mirror, etc., pratiyate, is experience. Whose reflection is experienced elsewhere, saha eva, that alone is bimbaha iti uchyate. That alone is called the original. Bimbaha means the original. They say kandarastha mukha, the face on my shoulder, that kandarastha mukha. Natu, okay. And now prakrute, this is general definition. Prakrute in the present subject matter, kutasthasya bimbatvangikarat jivaha tat pratibimbaha iti eva pratiyate. Prakrute, in this given model, in this given prakriya, kutastha is accepted to be, since kutastha is accepted to be bimba, kutasthasya bimbatvangikarat, because of the acceptance of the kutastha as the original, jivaha, this means chidabhasaha, tat pratibimbaha iti eva pratiyate. Therefore, jiva, here jiva refers to, is restricted to chidabhasa, is the pratibimba of that kutastha iti eva, in this manner alone it is found. Means it appears to be that only. Pratiyate. How? Tathahi. Explanation follows. So this is a pratigna vakya. That jiva means chidabhasa is the pratibimba of kutastha alone. Okay. Tathahi. How? Atyanta rakta japa kusumadi upadhi uparistha swachha sphatike tat pushpadi raktima pratiyate. He gives the example. The example is of the sphatika, the crystal, and red flower. Here, red flower is kutastha. So generally we say the buddhi, etc. But here it is ulta. Buddhi is the sphatika, and the kutastha chaitanya is like flower. And this red color is chidabhasa. So we have to keep this in mind. First, let us understand the example. He says, Atyanta Rakta Japa Kusuma. Japa Kusuma is hibiscus flower, which is Atyanta Rakta. Why he is using Atyanta means very red, dark red. Because then only you will see it. If very light, you may not be able to see clearly and crystal. Therefore, Atyanta Rakta Japa Kusumadi Upadhi, that is Upadhi. Upasamipe Stitva Swagunanadatte. So is Upadhi. Upari, on that. Uparistha means that which is situated on the top of the Upadhi in the form of Japa Kusuma. So we have to imagine something like this. That this Japa Kusuma is here down, and on that Spatika is there. So Japa Kusumadi Upadi Uparistha. The down flower is there, this big flower, and on that it is put. And Uparistha Swachha Sphatike, in the pure crystal, Tat Pushpadi Raktima, the red color. Raktima means red color. Raktima is not Strilinga. Raktima is Pullinga. So generally means Akaranta means generally means Strilinga. It is not that. The Raktima is Pullinga. So red color of that flower in pure crystal, which is situated on the top of the red hibiscus flower, we see what is seen, the red color of that flower. Sacha sphatikadi gata raktima tat pushpadi pratibimba eva. And that red color which is obtaining, which is seen in the crystal, is the pratibimba, is the reflection of that flower. So red color seen in the crystal is the reflection of that flower only. Tata, similarly. So here three things are there. One is the hibiscus flower, second is the crystal, third is the red color. So three factors in the example to be considered. Now, tatha kutastha buddhau kutasthasya prakashah pratifalati. Similarly, kutastha buddhau, in the buddhi, which is ashrita, resting on the kutastha, the adhisthana chaitanyam. So buddhi is like the crystal which is resting on the kutastha, this red flower. So red flower, the kutastha is like red flower. On red flower there is crystal. Similarly on kutastha dependently sitting is buddhi. And in buddhi kutasthasya prakashaha, the light of this adhisthana chaitanyam pratifalati is reflected. So prakasha is the red color, light. Sa prakasha eva, that shining in the buddhi, which is coming from the kutastha chaitanyam, eva, that alone, sa prakasha, that shining alone is chidabhasaha iti uchyate. That alone is called chidabhasaha. Okay. Then atyanta swachha sphatikavat, we'll see the footnote afterwards. Atyanta swachha sphatikavat buddhihi api atyanta nirmala. So now he wants to say that how the drashtanta can be applied here. So he says, buddhi is like swachha sphatika, atyanta swachha sphatikavat. Like this pure crystal, buddhi also is very pure. Why? Sattva guna karyatvat tasyaha. Because buddhi is the product of sattva guna. Since buddhi is the product of sattva guna, therefore it is swachha. And therefore it is comparable to sphatika, is comparable to this crystal. Tatra pratifalita kutastha prakashasya eva pratibimbaha iti samakhya. Tatra, in that buddhi, tatra should be separate, okay? Tatra pratifalita, it should not be like this. Tatra is not like a samasa, it's separate. Tatra, there in the buddhi, pratifalita kutastha prakasha. The prakasha which is reflected in the buddhi, the prakasha of the kutastha, which is reflected. Pratibimba iti samakhya. Okay. In buddhi, that prakasha, which is the reflection of the kutastha, that alone is called samakhya, means the name is pratibimba. Buddho pratifalita kutastha. This kutastha is like a flower. Like how the flower is reflected in the crystal, similarly kutastha is reflected in this buddhi. So tatra buddho pratifalita kutastha prakasha. The prakasha, which is prakasha of the kutastha, which is reflected in the buddhi. So buddho, tatra buddho pratifalita kutastha chaitanyasya prakasha. The light of the consciousness which is reflected in the buddhi, of that light alone, pratibimba iti samakhya. The pratibimba is the name for that light. So the light of the kutastha chaitanya which is reflected in the buddhi, that alone is called pratibimba, means chidabhasa. So chidabhasa is the light of that consciousness which is reflected in the buddhi. Means the light of that reflected consciousness, that is called pratibimba. And so we don't make distinction. We say reflected consciousness is pratibimba. Okay. Buddhehe kutastha adhishthitvatvat. Since buddhi is supported by the kutastha chaitanyam, therefore buddhau kutasthasya pratibimba uchitaha. Therefore, in buddhi, reflection of kutastha alone is proper, because that is close by. Just as the red flower is close by to the sphatika, similarly kutastha chaitanyam is close by to this sphatika in the form of buddhi. Since kutastha chaitanyam and buddhi are close by, therefore kutasthasya pratibimbaha, the reflection of the kutastha chaitanya alone is proper. Iti, therefore jivaha Kutastha Pratibimbaha iti Pakshaha Pradarshitaha. Here Jiva should be restricted to Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa Rupa Jivaha Kutastha Pratibimbaha is the reflection of Kutastha. Iti Pakshaha. In this manner, view is Pradarshitaha, is shown. So, essence of this paragraph is that Chidabhasa, which is the constituent, the main constituent of this Jiva, the specific constituent of Jiva, is the reflection of Kutastha Chaitanya alone. Which Kutastha Chaitanya? The Chaitanyam which is conditioned by Buddhi Upadhi. So, Buddhi Upahita Chaitanyasya Pratibimba eva Chidabhasaha. That is the message. Alright, here the Chidabhasa word is explained. Patavilakshanatve sati patavad bhasamanatvam patabhasatvam yatha tatha chidvilakshanatve sati chidbhasamanatvam chidvad bhasamanatvam chidabhasatvam. So he is giving the definition of Chidabhasa. What is the definition of Chidabhasa? Chidvat abhasate iti Chidabhasaha. That which appears like consciousness is called Chidabhasa. And he gives the example. He says that which appears like a cloth, like the paper. Puja Swami used to give the example that there was one movie, Avara. In that movie, the Raj Kapoor. So he wears the dress of the paper, newspaper. So Puja Swami should Avara. We used to sing that also, even like when he is giving the example of pata and all this, no, that there cannot be cloth without material, thread. Then he says somebody will raise this objection. So that newspaper, it looks like a cloth. Therefore, that newspaper can be called what? Patabhasa. Not pata. Patavad abhasate iti patabhasaha. Similarly, chidvad abhasate iti chidabhasaha. That idea is conveyed here. Patavilakshanatve sati, being different from the pata. Patavad bhasamanatvam, appearing like a cloth. That is called being patabhasaha. The semblance of pata. Patabhasaha. So just as patabhasatvam kim, patavilakshanatve sati, patavad bhasamanatvam. So that which is different from the cloth but appears like a cloth is called patabhasaha. Like some people are guruvabhasa. They are not really guru. It looks like guru. So they will be called guruvabhasa. Sometimes chhatrabhasa also. Really not student. But they appear to be student. They will be called chhatrabhasa. Everywhere original is there, duplicate will be there. Alright. So patabhasatvam yatha. Similarly, tatha chid vilakshanatve sati, being distinct from the consciousness, chidvad bhasamanatvam, appearing like chit, is chidabhasatvam, is called chidabhasaha. Alright. So why? Because chidabhasa experientially is a vikari and also is dependent on the buddhi to be there. Whereas the consciousness is not dependent upon buddhi. Therefore vilakshanatvam. But it appears to be Chaitana. Because of that, its presence alone, the Antakarana is considered to be Chaitana. And therefore, Chidabhasa is like Chit because it is making the mind sentient. But at the same time, it is distinct from one angle, it is different from this Chit, original consciousness, because original consciousness is not dependent upon Upadhi, whereas Chidabhasa is dependent on Upadhi. So Chid Vilakshanatve sati, the Chidvad Bhasamanatvam Chidabhasatvam. Now the next one. So first view in 180 first paragraph, what we saw? That Chidabhasa is the reflection of Ghatakasha Sthaniya Kutastha Chaitanya. It is very close by. Therefore we accept that. But this particular view has some issue, and therefore another view is given. See, here you may wonder that why so many views and all. Because no view is perfect. No view. Like, we were drafting some letters to be sent to applicants. So every thing, if we write like this, it has got this meaning. If we write like this, so everything. If you write like this type of meaning may come. If you write like this, that meaning come. So in some way we have to compromise. So no prakriya, no particular view is perfect. And every view will have some advantages, some disadvantages. But sometimes our mind is such, if you are too particular about some disadvantage, this disadvantage should not be there. You are so particular about that you will adopt one prakriya. Even though that has got disadvantage, but that you don't mind. Like this ashram, some people like it. Why? Because it has some advantages. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have disadvantage. But disadvantage they don't mind. And this also has disadvantage. Whether elephant comes, boar comes, I am telling in recording, people will be afraid. You will let them know and then come. Informed choice. So this has got is away from the city. So many internet comes. Here they say, in this ashram, only BSNL works when it works. If at all something works, BSNL. But if BSNL also works, no guarantee. BSNL का abbreviation यही है, भाई साहब नहीं लगेगा. BSNL no, भाई साहब नहीं लगेगा. So that's how So that's how it is. So no setup. Rishikesh has got so many advantages. Ganga Maya is there, so very good Himalayas you see. But there some these difficulties are there. I should not talk about that. So because people is always talking about difficulties. This has got limitations. Similarly, no prakriya is complete. But somehow we will settle our mind in one prakriya. One Swamiji was very beautifully telling me. He said, if you are in search of a perfect guru, you will never get it. But he said, somehow we settle with some guru. He said, somehow we settle with some guru. Because as I said, same principle, that guru doesn't have the problem which you have problem with. He has a problem he also has or she also has. But he doesn't have that problem which is intolerable for me. Therefore, marriage भी ऐसे ही होता है ना. So, perfect lady you cannot get, perfect man you cannot get. Similarly, perfect prakriya you cannot get. So, I have to give all this example to say perfect prakriya you cannot get. Therefore, two ways are there. So, some of you may like Swamiji. I like this, Kutastha Chaitanyam alone is reflected, अंदर काम बन गया. So matter is settled inside. So घर की बात घर में रह गई. So home things remain in home. And this outside why you have to bring? Some people say no, but outside alone has to be there, because in Drishtanta you see, Drishtanta we are seeing the sky in Ghata. We are seeing the reflection of outside sky with the stars. And therefore Drishtanta is having this reflection of outside sky only. So Dashtanta also should be same. Some uniformity, So that's what he said. Athava Brahma Chaitanyasya Buddho Pratibimbaha iti Paksha api Sambhavyate eva. Similarly, Brahma Chaitanyasya of Vyapaka Chaitanya, all pervasive Chaitanyam, Buddho Pratibimbaha, there is a reflection in Buddhi. Iti Pakshaha, this type of view api also Sambhavyate eva is definitely possible. In footnote it is said, Purvam Pratibimbaha Kutasthasya eva iti sadhitam. Purvam means in the previous paragraph, the reflection, Chidabhasa is the reflection of Kutastha alone. It is sadhitam, is established. Adhuna, now, Saha means Pratibimbaha. That reflection of consciousness is Brahma Chaitanyasya, is of Vyapaka Chaitanya, Brahma Chaitanya, Syapi, iti upapadyate. Iti ब्रह्म चैतन्यस्यापि इति uchyate. Okay. Uchyate, it is told. Here it is not clear. Uchyate is clear. Uchyate only. So now it is said that this Pratibimba Chaitanya is of Brahma Chaitanya. Alright. Those details we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.